King Charles is under huge pressure to act after his brother Prince Andrew's name appeared in the Jeffrey Epstein documents no fewer than 69 times. A second batch of files relating to the convicted sex offender has now been released, with yet more references to the Duke of York. The palace has previously said all allegations are categorically untrue. Metropolitan Police has confirmed they will not reinvestigate the allegations, despite the anti-monarchy group Republic asking them to. I'm delighted now to be joined by the CEO of the group Republic, Graham Smith. Welcome to the programme, Graham.
Good evening.
Good evening. Right, just explain to us what it is you have done about these new documents that have been released.
Well, I think these documents do, despite what the Metropolitan Police said, provide fresh detail and impetus. And I think that the point is that we have Andrew, who is accused of having sex with minors, being involved in an orgy with girls underage, and this Jane Doe 3, who we believe is Virginia Giuffre. The documents suggest that she was trafficked and forced to have sex with him whilst underage. And this clearly should be investigated properly. Now, just last November, Russell Brand was accused of a series of offences, which he denies, of course, but he was accused of these offences by a number of women, dating back as far as 2006. And on the strength of those accusations, Russell Brand was interviewed under caution. And I believe the investigation is still going on in relation to that. With Andrew, we have accusations from a number of women that aren't simply coming forward through the media, but are coming forward in court under oath, making these accusations. And the Metropolitan Police say, well, nothing to see here. And I think that is pretty concerning. It really sends the wrong message to both powerful men who think they can get away with this kind of thing, and to women who want to report such assaults to the police. Are they going to go to the police if they think the police won't do anything about it?
But Graham, isn't it the case that the Metropolitan Police have previously looked into these allegations, looked into what evidence there is, looked into the possibility of a case and a conviction, and have decided that they can't prosecute, and therefore that although you say there's new evidence, actually when you look at what's been disclosed in these documents, there's one quote of somebody saying that someone else had said there had been some sort of orgy, and that's pretty much it.
No, there's it is Jane Doe 3 herself saying that these things happen. But the point is that the evidence that is available is as strong, if not stronger, than what's been presented against Russell Brand. And they haven't properly investigated. They haven't sat down with Andrew and interviewed him under caution. There has been no proper investigation. They've simply reviewed some documents and had a brief chat with Virginia Giuffre, but that's not an investigation. And I think that does send some serious, raise some serious questions about why.
So your accusation or your inference from that is that Andrew, because he's a royal, is being treated differently by the police than, say, Russell Brand in your example there?
Yeah, I think that it is highly unlikely that the Metropolitan Police would simply say nothing to see here if this was anybody else. I think that these allegations have been around for some time. I think they are clearly credible, given that they paid, Prince Charles, as he was then, and the Queen paid Virginia Giuffre £12 million is estimated to be the amount to Virginia Giuffre to keep Andrew out of court in a civil case in America. He has made a number of claims in the the Newsnight interview, I think it was, which have proven to be false, including suggesting that he'd never met her, despite the fact that there's this photo, which I can see you've got on the screen now, showing that he really did meet her. The evidence is that there is something there that is not right, that he's not been entirely honest, and that there needs to be an investigation. At the very least, they should be sitting down with Andrew under caution and interviewing him.
And Graham, sticking with Prince Andrew and his role within the royal family, and whether or not these latest allegations and disclosures that have come out of the States are putting Charles under more pressure when it comes to his brother. I suppose, again, sticking with your Russell Brand metaphor, or anyone else in that vein, what tends to happen with these cases is that accusations are made about somebody, and then their employer will very often either suspend that person or sack that person until such time as they can prove their innocence or otherwise. And I suppose in some ways that is exactly what's happened to Andrew. His employer, the royal family, has suspended him, have taken away his sort of rights and privileges and so on, and he's sort of been dealt with. So you might see it as the Queen when she was alive, and now Charles has sort of done their bit about dealing with Andrew.
Well, no, not really. I mean, the palace took at least 11 years. I mean, all this came out originally in 2011, his relationship with Epstein, and then the accusations directly against him were 2014. It wasn't until 2021 that they stripped him of a number of titles and forced him to step back. He is still the Duke of York. He is still the Earl of Inverness. He is still an admiral in the Navy. He is still living in Great Windsor Park on public property at our expense. And we need to also ask questions of the palace about what they knew when, why they didn't take action sooner, and we need to get Charles to answer questions, not to the police, but to the cameras, to the press, directly being asked, what did you know when? How has this come to be dragged on for so many years when these allegations are so serious? And why did you agree to pay £12 million to keep Andrew out of the court of law?
And Graham, let's talk about Republic, your organisation, a bit. How many members do you have?
Well, we've got about 140,000 registered supporters. Our income has jumped rapidly. We've had last year was transformational. We've gone up £600,000 income last year from 286 the year before, 100 and something the year before that. So we are growing rapidly. And what we're also seeing is the polling around the monarchy is showing a sharp drop in support for the monarchy. There was a Savanta poll just before Christmas. It was just 52% said that they prefer a monarchy, over 34% preferring a republic. So that is a significant shift. So, we've got a long way to go, but I think that we are growing rapidly, and the monarchy, I think, is in quite a bit of difficulty.
Yes, I can understand that. Well, Graham, thank you very much. I wonder, though, how grateful you should be to Prince Andrew, because probably the scandals around Prince Andrew have greatly contributed to those extra funds that you find.
Well, I think that a lot of commentary around this is about the PR and the reputation of the royals, and I think the focus should be on the alleged victims of Epstein, Maxwell, and allegedly Prince Andrew. So that's the focus. I don't think I'm going to be grateful for what he's allegedly done. But I mean, certainly the scandals that have gone on around not just Andrew, but also Harry and Meghan, and the row about that, the way that the palace dealt with their departure and their response to the things that they've said. And I just think there's been a big shift in attitudes, particularly among people under the age of 40. I think that they are rapidly losing public support, and it will dip under 50% before the end of the decade.
Well, of course, that was a lot of people's great concern and fear as the end of the Queen's reign